What is up, everybody? If you're listening on the audio side of the platform, let me just warn you right now. There are 3 windows open on this browser, and that means you probably need to get on over to the YouTube because none other than executive producer, intern, Sherpa, M-Dubs is in the building. Michael, how the heck are you?
I'm a back-to-back national champion.
Oh,
Could I be better, guys?
Could he? The answer is no. We're going to talk about some of Dubs' favorite memories from 2022, from this last national championship run. All of that today on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
welcome back, everybody. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Locked On Bulldogs. We will get to them in a moment, but we do want to welcome in M-Dubs, the Sherpa himself, telling kids how to shovel snow as he enjoys a nice spirit of some sort to warm that body. And M-Dubs, we talking.
Can you call a Natty Light a spirit? Is that what that was?
Well,
is that what that was?
I didn't want to throw Natty Light out on this podcast because
Natty Light, if you want to sponsor the show, we'd love to have you.
Also,
yeah,
I should say I'm not denigrating you.
No, not at all.
Please come on, talk to your boys. It is a spirit of sorts, I suppose.
Sure.
M-Dubs is here, and we're talking our favorite time this past year for UGA.
You know what I love about these shows, Clint, is normally in the cold open, we give a little teaser of what's coming up on the show.
A little. Here's segment 1, segment 2, segment 3. Today's
we have no idea. We have no idea what's coming up on the show today. So,
guys,
Zach,
I'm watching the timer. I'm just going to say we're 40 seconds away from making it the first 3 minutes without mentioning Alabama.
Dang it!
Dang it!
Maybe next time, guys.
Sorry about that.
Maybe next time.
Almost.
Look, if you had the good fortune of being in the same room as us three knuckleheads at any given time, just hold on to your butts, because who the hell knows where.
Hold on to your baby back ribs, because it has been a wild time wherever we have found ourselves.
That's right. That's right. We're going to talk our favorite things about UGA from this past season, memory, experiences, all the like. M-Dubs, where do you want to start us? Do you want to start us do you want to ramp up to 1, or do you want to hit the people out of the gate? You want to shoot your shot now?
Ooh, let's ramp up. Okay. Let's ramp up to number 1.
Okay. He wants to tease it out a little bit.
I'll give my second
favorite moment of the 2022 season. Let's hear it.
I'm going to say my second favorite moment of the 2022 season was Christopher Smith versus LSU. You may recall. Go back with me, gentlemen.
Oh, let's take it back.
There was a field goal. LSU trying to stay in the game. Gonna put a field goal on the board. That field goal did not make it past very far past the line of scrimmage.
No,
it falls to the turf. Everyone begins just meandering, matriculating. Towards the sidelines.
Not everyone.
Not everyone. Except one, Christopher Smith, looks around. I believe in the post-game interview, he said, I looked at the referee, and the referee said, what do you want to do?
I don't know. We're still playing football.
My whistle is not in my mouth.
No one stopped playing football yet.
Oh, man. That for me, like, If Florida's most embarrassing moment of the past couple of years, and there have been many, is the shoe against LSU. LSU's most embarrassing moment may very well be Christopher Smith picking up a blocked field goal.
I mean, special teams coordinator got fired in the offseason, and you can never convince me that it wasn't just for that exact play. There was I'm not going to say nervous energy at the beginning of that game, but there was a bit of nervous energy, I think, at the beginning of that game. At least there was for me. But once that play happened, that game was blowout from then on. It was just an absolute avalanche of Georgia on top of LSU for the rest of that game. And so not only was it a hilarious moment, not only was it an embarrassing moment for a team that we were playing against, but it really was a pivotal moment in a very important game against a pretty good team. I mean, we're talking about the SEC West champions, guys. I mean, it's the LSU Tigers, the cream of the crop in the SEC West.
The number one team in the SEC West.
The number one team in the SEC West.
I'm just waiting. I'm doing research in the background as you're talking to make sure that lies aren't detected.
Fact checking?
So I'm fact checking.
Okay. How are we doing so far?
So far, so good.
No lies detected.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's a fascinating thing. Well, I guess we'll get to number one favorite moment from the 2022 season. But first, should we talk about how we're going to bet all of our money on March Madness?
I really, really was hoping that you were going to shoot over me, and then I was going to do this ploy where I was going to shoot it back over you. Like, Daniel's going to let us know about FanDuel, and Daniel would tell me, I don't have the copy up.
Listen, I can let you know about FanDuel. I don't know if I can say what FanDuel wants me to say, but I can certainly tell you a lot about FanDuel.
Well, let's start there with what they want us to say. And what they want us to say is actually kind of what we want to say. FanDuel is the number one sports book in America. It's the official sports book of Locked On Bulldogs and Locked On podcasts everywhere. And right now, as the midway point of the NBA season is here, and now's the perfect time to download FanDuel, because customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just download the FanDuel Sports app. It's safe, secure, super easy to use. Then you can bet on everything from money line to point scores and threes drained, and you can get all them March Madness. We are less than 2 weeks or 2 weeks out. What date is it? We are less than 2 weeks.
Selection Sunday is just a couple weeks away. It's crazy town.
It's insane. We want to have you get over to FanDuel, FanDuel.com/lockedon, so that you can bet on all these amazing, amazing games. And yes, all the money that we made during the season, because we made a lot betting on Georgia. We made a lot.
Those natty bets came in. Lost a lot of money on New Year's Eve.
It's okay. Yes. It's fine.
Made a lot more money back on January the 10th.
Don't miss a chance to go get your no sweat first bet up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/lockedon. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. Learn more. Making every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Selection Sunday coming up. It's unfortunate. I don't know if you saw the news. The Crimson Tide will be without the walk-on that patted down.
Yep, he's been suspended for the team.
Yeah.
That kind of behavior is unacceptable to Nate Oates. I'll tell you this, he can't control what happens outside of practice, but he can control that. And
but he's been doing it. He's been doing it for months.
Some are saying that walk-on is just in the wrong place at the wrong time, that his hands were just in the wrong place at the wrong time as he made a gesture that was incredibly offensive to the deceased.
Look, when you talk about the standard, okay, you put respect. Luke Robinson would have you know that is the standard of college basketball. That is the standard
of college basketball. Nate Oates and the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Correct. You make sure that they are the standard.
They are better than Georgia at that thing.
Sure, have fun. All right, M-Dubs, what is your favorite moment from this past season? UGA, you have the floor, sir.
All right, so I'll give you number one. I have a bonus in the chamber.
Oh, I love this.
So we know. So
I love this.
Just be ready.
This man's listened to the podcast quite a few times.
Man always comes with extra content.
That's right. I think my number one favorite moment of this season, other than, of course, sitting in SoFi Stadium, meeting Ben Dukes with my son. My son who has seen Ben Dukes.
Local celebrity Ben Duke. I mean, we're talking about movie star, bona fide movie star Dukes. Yeah,
unbelievable. Other than that, of course, that's going to trump everything.
I was pulling that photo up on my phone as you were talking about it. I can't find it anywhere. You got to send it to us. That's a fantastic photo.
Yeah. And the bonus video of Ben Dukes yelling at you to get it together. Yes. Anyway, number one favorite moment. Sorry, I know the people love this.
They love the banter.
People love the banter, Dubs. I just can't stop smiling. When we have Dubs on the podcast, everything is better. Zach, I apologize for nothing. We did a terrible cold open today. It just nothing about this podcast is the way that you wanted it to be, but this is just what you get. This is it for today.
This is my favorite episode of Talking Dogs. This is. Go back with me.
I remember it. I remember it when it was called Talking Dogs. T-shirt is coming to the $199. To the $199 for the loyal third segment listeners. They'll be able to pick it up.
Love it. Okay, number one favorite moment I think of the season was Brock Bowers doing Brock Bowers things. We could pick a card, any card, but I'm going to pick the card versus Florida where Stetson Bennett makes a pass.
Sure.
I love Stetson Bennett. Greatest college quarterback of all time.
Okay. So we're
not his best pass.
No.
In this
this particular juncture was one of those times when Georgia fans were outside of their minds screaming for him to be benched.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, in his defense, if you're throwing a football to Flash Gordon, how far should you lead him? You can't lead him. It's Brock Bowers running straight down the sideline. You really can't outthrow him.
T-shirt cannon if you're going to try to get the ball down there too.
Correct. So Stetson Bennett throws it slightly behind. The Florida defender says, "Oh, here's my moment. I'm going to make Stetson Bennett and Brock Bowers look foolish."
Yep.
And so he reaches back and he makes contact with the ball. And does the ball fall to the ground? No. Does it fall into his breadbasket for the interception? No. It pops right up in the air. And what does Brock Bowers do? He does Brock Bowers things. Human cheat code.
Yeah.
I've never seen footwork. I mean, I tell you, I got into it with some Notre Dame fans, about tight ends.
About Myers or whatever.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite moments of the year. But them talking about how he was robbed because of Brock Bowers' recognition. And I just looked at that and I thought, how do you look at that and think he's anything less than the most impressive tight end in the country? Just
the best college football player coming back for this coming season
only
in
a
the
sophomore.
country.
Now
there are so many Brock Bowers moments. I mean, there are 1,000 points on New Year's Eve that you could point to and say Georgia doesn't win this game if this doesn't happen. But none of them stand out more than Brock Bowers matrixing his body over that first down line. I mean, none of them.
You said footwork, M-Dubs, and that's exactly what I went to that yoga move, that Catwoman-esque pose on the sideline.
Yeah. It was sensual what he was doing on the sidelines. I'm not ashamed to say it.
Look, Daniel, do not ask the people where your butter is churned. Okay.
Listen, I think there are just some things that are better left to the Talking Dogs podcast,
That's fair. If Kirby doesn't do a 15-minute yoga session on Thursday, does Brock Bowers make that first down?
We don't make it to the national championship game. And Ryan Day gets blown out by TCU. I don't make the rules. These are just the rules. This is how the game goes.
Hey.
Yes.
What's the bonus one? I want to get to the bonus one.
Oh yeah, let's get to
the bonus one. Guys, there may not be a single greater moment in Georgia football this year than Jalen Carter pushing through. I didn't want to go to LSU highlights, but pushing through that O-line, catching Jaden Daniels and holding him up, like a national championship trophy, you will.
That's right.
There's two images that should just resound in the minds of UGA fans. It is Uga trying to take a snap out of some tiger coming, right? And then it is Jalen Carter holding up another tiger. It's a different tiger. It's magical.
I thought it was going to be the gif of Stetson Bennett winking at the sidelines, but that's not.
The phone
call. I thought it was going to be the time that Stetson Bennett put that leg in the ground and just
the dirty
crippled the man on the goal line.
I can't wait for the comments that I didn't pick a moment from the Tennessee game. My apologies to all the listeners. Maybe the whole game.
Well, Tennessee game. It wasn't. To be honest, it wasn't that loud in the stadium. From what I heard, it was not a very good environment.
No,
and
you can't really talk about that because the majority of the
field was sandy.
Yeah, it was
and
sandy.
It was raining.
It was raining in the third quarter. It wasn't a true game.
So no, I mean I wouldn't even call it a game. I'd call it maybe an exhibition, maybe a competitive banter. Was
an activity, extracurricular activity.
It's just a funtivity. It's a fun activity. It's a funtivity.
Oh, please enunciate.
I won't.
I beg you.
I won't do it. Loyal third segment listeners, if you got the shirt that M-Dubs has, you're gonna want to come back because things are about to get weird. We're gonna give the intern the floor, and we're gonna let him go wherever he wants to go.
You ever let the kid do the driving for the first time in the car?
Wow!
You just sit out in the elementary school parking lot. Just set the kid up on your lap and just say, "I got the pedals. You work the wheel. That'll be fine."
You got a roadie open.
I'm just gonna hold my finger over this end recording button, and it's just gonna be. We're just gonna wait and see how far we get before I just push it. All right, that's coming back right after this. All right, Dubs. We're doing this thing. We're going to start the whole off season. Brought to you by the 199. Brought to you by, thanks to the official sponsor of the third segment, bonfire.com/store/the199.
Okay, wow, he said it. I just.
What we're going to do in this third segment is, I make no apologies. What we're going to do in this third segment is, we're just going to do dealer's choice. We're going to do 199's choice, whatever you want to go to. Whatever you want to discuss, whatever's on your mind, doesn't have to be Georgia football related. Whatever's on your mind, let's get it out in the open and let's let the people hear about it.
Well, I've given it a lot of thought.
Okay.
And I may have to come back. We'll let the people choose. Yeah. I really want to talk about why they're breaking baseball. What are you doing to my baseball?
Oh, this is
going to be a long summer.
Clint, I'm just going to sit back and let you.
I was just going to say basketball talk. I go ahead and I grab the drink. This is
your sport. We're talking about, Clint.
Sport. Yes, you're in my realm. M-Dubs, why are they ruining baseball?
And they've done what to it?
Yeah,
guys, you know what baseball needs to be? Mm-hmm. It needs to be faster. It needs to be less strategic. They probably just need to move the batters through faster and score more points. And if they do that, runs. Not points.
Yeah,
but if they do that, then people will show up. They'll tune into their television and watch it.
If people get called out for no reason whatsoever,
correct.
Yes.
For a complete arbitrary thing that no one's even really sure what it is, those are the kinds of sports that people really resonate with. The ones where you have no idea what the rules are, and the rules, if they are explained to you, don't make any sense whatsoever. That's what baseball is now trying to do.
Baseball has gone from an old man sport with archaic, traditional, unspoken rules to now an archaic, old man, unspoken rules that now have consequences. Actual consequences.
Yeah.
I have never. This is going to loyal third segment listeners. Look, we got comments one time. We brought. I don't know if you saw M-Dubs. We had a woman on the show talking football, and it was people came.
Beth Mowitz came on the show.
I would welcome Beth in a heartbeat. Okay, if we got Beth Mullins on here, we were chastised. For being so woke, for having a female speak on sports.
Wow.
It was at the caution. Have you ever seen a more old white man thing to do than to impose a clock on pitching in baseball?
Like, is it a problem that people step out of the batter's box and adjust their groin for 38 seconds between every pitch?
It is.
Yes, it is a problem. Namely, the problem is I don't want to see you touch your groin on television. That's where the problem begins for me. But the timing issue, sure, is also a factor in that, I suppose. But is the solution to impose a clock so that in the case of this Braves game that happened the other day, The catcher's not even remotely ready to receive a ball.
He's not set. He's not in a crouching position.
Does not have the ball in his glove. A sign has not been given by the catcher to the pitcher. And yet the batter, who is in the process of standing in the box when the call is made, is somehow called out for not being ready to hit in time. When, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, couldn't you just make the rule that at a certain point the pitcher's allowed to throw the ball? And if it's a strike, it's a strike if the batter's not standing in the batter's box?
Hold on. It was almost as if the umpire has to grant the batter a timeout.
Oh, so you're saying it would be
continue.
Whose fault?
See, it was already a rule on the books. I don't know why we're changing it. And they're ruining baseball with this thing. It's ludicrous.
Well, listen, I guess I see the logic that if the pitcher's not ready to pitch and the catcher is not kneeling and the sign hasn't been given, that's the batter's fault.
Okay,
that is the batter's fault, 100%. Because if you're not the batter, what are you doing? He was standing in the batter's box holding the bat. What about him communicated, I'm not ready to hit?
Now I'm going to counter this point and tell you why it's a bonus for the Braves. We're Braves fans here.
This is a freebie for Locked On Braves. Whoa. You're welcome. Locked On Braves podcast. We'll be happy to loan you this one.
We got you.
We'll be happy to lend it to you.
If you don't understand how this is going to dramatically allow Ozzie and Ronald to steal as many bases as they want, because here's the problem. If you throw over to first and then you're not ready to pitch within 8 seconds, you can't throw over again to first, and you have to throw home. And there's a clock telling me that I get to look at, and
just
you get to
5,
look at.
4, 3, 2, 1, run.
And I am running on the gun, and I get second base easy. Like, if y'all don't understand that Ozzie and Ronald are going to set records this year for stolen bases, ooh boy,
touche.
Baseball's. I won't see any of it though. That's the sad part. I won't see any of those stolen bases.
I will.
Baseball in the Rob Manfred era.
Yeah.
Rob Manfred, I think it's time to go. Like, what are you doing?
It's tough.
This is strike 5. I don't know what strike we're on, which is the next step for baseball.
What that is. That is coming next year, 2024. Strike 5. If you get strike 5, you're automatically suspended for performance-enhancing drugs for 6 months. So that's what the rule is going to be. It's going to be in place. It's going to be called the Jose Canseco rule, and it's going to be strike 5. You automatically have 6 months PED suspension, and that's how baseball is going to clean itself up. Well, they got to appeal to a younger demographic.
And again,
this does it.
What's younger than a pitch clock to be on time instead of tardy and having hall monitors all over the place on the field?
The young people love that. They did.
Instead, how about we just let Ronald Acuna, I don't know, do his thing that's fun and exciting and everybody enjoys watching. And if you don't enjoy watching...
it's disrespectful to the game.
I'm sure it is.
It is.
It's disrespectful to the game that he would have fun. He didn't...
That he would pose for autographs and pictures with children that come to see him at the games.
He needs
He doesn't hustle enough.
Right. Attitude adjustment. No, I heard what you said, people. I heard it. We all heard it.
Sure. M-Dubs, thank you so much for joining the show. It's been great having you on. We will do it again in about 8 to 12 months whenever whenever your suspension has been lifted. Maybe we'll have you on. Maybe we'll have you on before the Masters. We'll get a little Masters predictions from you. We'll get you on a little bit late March, early April. Right around there.
We might.
Maybe we'll just get invited to the Masters when you score some tickets. That'd be great if you just throw your boys a few this way.
I'm just gonna let you know, Daniel and I will be down in the hood. We'll be traveling on
that area.
We'll be down in the area.
We can just swoop on over.
Swing right on by. I
love it. I hope we can make it happen.
You can't hide money, so I know you'll come up with something.
Daniel and I, we can hide money.
Well, you'd have to have money to hide it.
Well, you can hide it just in your pocket. You just put it in your pocket.
I see. This has been the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. Zach, again, we apologize. We'll do better tomorrow. All of this.
Do I email Zach? My
yes,
apologies.
You email Zach directly your apologies. He would appreciate that.
Thank you.
Loyal third segment listeners, thanks for being here, and we will see you guys tomorrow.